Hi guys, it's Natalie. Welcome back to my channel. I really don't know how I feel about this lipstick, but one, the video is darker. Well, it's paranormal, so like darker, you know, like scarier. And two, it's October, fall. I am genuinely so excited for this video because one, it's October, not to be basic or anything, but October just like changed my lipstick. I just took it off because I didn't really like it. But anyways, I'm so excited for this video because I love paranormal related things. Today I'm going to tell you my paranormal experiences, and obviously I don't know if these are all paranormal experiences, but to me some of them are a little too unexplainable, so I just decided to label it as a paranormal experience. Plus I believe in those things, so that's why. Okay, my first story is not a story that I necessarily remember. My very first one, I was probably only about 3 years old, and my mom told me this, and this story is going to be really quick. A few months after my grandpa had just died, I would lay in my bed at night and tell my mom I don't want to go to bed because of the big black ghost. And my mom was like, "What's the big black ghost?" So basically I saw someone who was like a silhouette of someone, some like man I would see, just standing at my bed, just watching me, like not doing anything, not trying to scare me, just standing there. And I would tell my mom I don't want to go to bed because of that. And to this day, again, that was a really short story, but to this day I do think that was my grandpa because one, I never totally got to know him because I was so young, so maybe he was just watching over me. Two, it was only a few months after my grandpa had died. Younger kids and older adults, also pets, can for some reason sense paranormal easier. And I don't know what causes that, and I don't know if it's for kids, they just have more of an open mind to those things, or kids are just like, they don't have any bias. And I don't know about older people, but I think for dogs and cats and animals it's more of like a frequency thing, but I'm not really sure. So the next story happened in the same house that I was living in originally. So I forgot to mention, but I've lived in 4 houses and this was my very first house. This second one also had to do with my dad's side of the family because my grandpa I was talking about was on my dad's side. And it was, my grandma had gotten me this glass horse, and I don't know how to describe it. And it was one that would play, you'd wind it up and it would start playing music, and it was just like a horse on a pole. I wish I still had it, but I'm pretty sure we gave it away. It would play like classical sounding kids music kind of slowly when you winded it up. And I know that sounds creepy and made up, but like it just did. It wasn't creepy at the time until like after this happened. I also don't know if this is paranormal because when I was a kid I hallucinated a lot, and I'm not sure why I did, but I did. I had this wind-up toy, and I remember waking up and it was probably like 2 in the morning, and I think I was like 6 or 7, so I was a lot older than like my 5-year-old self. I was just laying in bed. I woke up at like 2 a.m. to the sound of that horse playing, and it still gets me to this day because the only way to get the horse to play, you have to wind it up. Who winded it up at 2 a.m.? Not me. I didn't sleepwalk. I don't get it. So whether that was my grandpa again, I don't know, but it was creepy. I'm not gonna like tell this story really because it's not my own, but my sister, the reason she does believe in ghosts is because a few months after my grandpa died, she saw, he used to wear this hat, and she was in my grandma's house. She was sitting in the living room and she looked in one of the picture frames that reflected the hallway, and she looked and she saw a silhouette again of a man with that same exact hat my grandpa always wore. And when she turned around to look at the hallway, there was no one in there, but when she turned back to the reflection, there was no reflection anymore. So that's like not really my story, but that's just another reason. My sister believes in ghosts, so again, another thing related to my grandpa. I don't know if it's my grandpa, it's not necessarily scary, like significant, if that makes any sense. It wasn't just like, oh, the horse started playing in the middle of the night. Even though that's like really creepy, it wasn't like that. I was at my grandma's house again. These are all related to my grandpa. I think it was me, my aunt, my cousin, my other cousin, my grandma, and my dad. There was like 6 people in the living room, and no one was downstairs. My grandma has like a 2-level house, but it's really big. Also keep in mind where my grandma's house is, she doesn't have neighbors except for like way across the street. It's kind of in like a country setting. But we were all sitting in the living room, and there were 2 dogs downstairs because my aunt and my cousin live at my grandma's house, and they have 2 dogs. When they were downstairs, they just started barking like crazy, and that's not like not normal for them, but they bark a lot. So I remember being in the living room and the dogs started barking like crazy. And remember what I said in the beginning of the video, that pets can sense the paranormal because of like frequencies easier? That's not immediately what came to my mind, but that came to my mind after my aunt said there's no one downstairs. After like a minute of them barking, next thing you know, you hear a man's voice so loud and clear. Like it wasn't like, did you hear that? Like it was like, you heard that. Like that was here. Like, shut up. Like the loudest voice of a man, like just like screaming, shut up. And everyone looked at each other, and my dad doesn't believe in ghosts. And to this day, he doesn't think it was paranormal, but I don't know what else it could be. All of us like look up from what we're doing and we're like, did you hear that? And everyone's like, yeah. And my uncle wasn't home, and my aunt said that. He's like, he's not home. I'll go downstairs and check. So she went downstairs to check if anybody was home, and literally not one person was in any of the rooms downstairs. No one was down there. And my grandma does not have neighbors, so it wasn't like a neighbor screaming shut up. And unless like unless someone was trying to break in, or they did and someone yelled shut up, that could like be a possibility. But my grandma has these security alarms that like go ding 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 every time someone opens the door, and that never went off. That one just like really scared me. I don't know how to tell these stories very well, but that This next one was also more recent. It was probably like a year or two ago, and it was in the summer. I was at my grandma's house and I was in the garage by myself because my cousins had just gotten new kittens and I wanted to see them, and they had kept them in the garage. So probably like 9 in the morning. Just remember I was sitting on the ground of the garage playing with one of the cats, and I was like, oh, so cute, you know what I mean? Like, I want to take a video of this cat. I pulled out my phone so that I could take a video of the cat on Snapchat because it was so cute. And this, in the end, people might be like, this is so explainable, but it was just so like, to me, because I'm at my grandma's house. And anyways, I pulled out my phone and I went on Snapchat and I put the flash on because it was kind of dark in the garage because the garage doors were closed and there was no windows. And I'm holding the cat, like, it's a kitten, so it's not like I was like holding the cat like this, but I was kind of like holding him. I was gonna take a video, and right when I clicked play or like pressed down the start, this like perfect green orb, or like orb looking circle, flew across the screen. And the only reason I didn't like, oh, that's dust, it was just because it was so perfect, and even though it was like kind of transparent, it was pretty opaque. So I immediately, for some reason, deleted the video. Like, I stopped, I deleted the video, I ran upstairs, I was like, I'm getting out of here. It just freaked me out so badly. And later when I looked up what a green orb was, it made so much sense if it was my grandpa. I'm gonna try to find what a green orb means, and I'm gonna insert it because I don't exactly remember what it is, but I know it has to do with like loving and nature. Or my grandpa is in my family, so like loving, you know, like he was a lovable person. And nature, we always have this thing that whenever we're together as a family, a cardinal shows up because that was his favorite bird, and so we think that like is him. Not saying he was like reincarnated, but like, you know, like it's a sign of him. And so it just made so much sense. I'll insert it right here. I think this is my last one. This one was really recent, probably like a month or two ago, and it might sound so dumb. It's probably not anything, but it just freaks me out. And so it has to do with a dog again. And also I forgot to mention, this could be like kind of paranormal related, but my dog a lot of times will just stop and like stare at nothing. You know, like it's usually at the bottom of the steps too. She'll sit at the bottom of the steps, and our steps, like they go up and then they stop and then they go up. And so she'll sit at the very bottom and just like look up and just stare, and I'm like, Gabby, and I like try to get her attention. I'm like, Gabby, and she won't look at me. So that's another thing that's like really weird that happens, but I don't know. Anyways, I was at my friend's house and we were using one of those stupid ghost apps, and it was like called like Ghost Radar because I saw it trending, so I was like, I'm getting this. And it just went, it like shows a little circle that goes around and around, and it like shows a radar, and then when a ghost appears, something like pops up, and then it says like what kind of spirit it is, how old it is, and it says like words. It'll let words pop up on the screen that it's saying, or like frequencies that it's picking up. and we were in her kitchen playing around with it kind of as a joke, and then it showed that there was like an old woman, or I think it was an old woman, it was like old woman spirit or something like that, and it said it was like right there in front of us. So at first we were kind of laughing about it, we're like, this is so dumb, and then we're like, well, if it's real, you know, you're supposed to tell them to go, like sternly but nicely. So we're like, let's try it. And we were right by the back door in her kitchen. I think I mentioned we were in her kitchen like multiple times. And my friend goes, hi, if you're in my house, please leave, exit the back door, and don't take my dog with you. The moment she says that, her dog was sitting like at the back door, already outside, but like right at the back door. Or like, no, the dog was facing inwards, but like was outside right at the back door. And the moment she says, you can leave out the back door, but don't take my dog, her dog turns around, starts barking, and runs straight backwards, as if like he was like chasing something. We were like, no, we're home alone, and we literally went outside, like the front door, because we were trying to get away. It was just like so coincidental. That's another thing that happens to me a lot, is like these crazy coincidences. Well, you guys, those are all the stories I could think of. I just want to say sorry if I'm not the best at storytelling. I'm getting used to it. I'm still getting the vibe of the whole YouTube thing and talking to my phone. But anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, and happy October. Bye.